Hey everybody, it's another ADD's Action Figure Obsession video. This won't be a long one, but when I was doing my Secret Wars display, which you saw in my previous video if you watched it, um, I had to displace some stuff from other shelves, and some of the stuff that got displaced were these figures here, and I thought that it would be fun to do a quick photo shoot with them, which I just got done doing, and I thought I'd share it with you as well so you could kind of see what one of my photo shoots looks like for my action figure photography. So this was a real quick setup. It's real bare bones, but I do like minimalism. I like to not be overly complicated or ornate in my shots. There are people who do great work that way, who have everything meticulously planned and they hide all of the, stands and joints and all kinds of stuff where they just make it look like perfection. That's not me. It's probably never going to be me. 8 or 9 videos into this ADD's Action Figure Obsession series, it should be clear by now perfection is not only not a goal, it's not even really possible. And again, a reminder, I'm just doing this for myself. I'm amazed that over 20 people now have subscribed to the channel. Don't know how that happened. It's very flattering. I appreciate everybody watching. And so that's why I wanted to share this sort of behind the scenes look at some of what I do. So what we have here, obviously, is, well, it might not be obvious, depends upon how deep down this rabbit hole you are, but we have pieces from various product lines. So let me see how best to start here. On the far left, you'll notice these two little barrels, the fuel barrels. Those are from the Bone Breaker Build-A-Figure, the little guy who's permanently attached to a tank in the X-Men line. I happened to get an extra, whichever figure those barrels came with, because I do have that Build-A-Figure fully assembled in my displays, and I do dig it. But that those barrels are just, they sort of sit on my table, and when they, sort of add a little industrial feel to it, maybe they're feeding into the isolation tube that we see here. This is a kit bash I did. The body is the Weapon X figure that was based on Barry Windsor Smith's artwork, but I removed all of the tubing and machinery for another kit bash that I did using a Valaverse body, so it was kind of my upgraded Valaverse version of Weapon X. So we have that old man Logan body, and he's got his claws out, you can see. I don't even remember if he came with alternate hands, but these, for being the crappiest claws that Hasbro has, these are actually relatively straight and don't look bad. The head is actually the alternate head of the Old Man Logan, Old Man Hawkeye 2-pack. Really, really nice head of a very old-looking Logan with gray hair and a very grizzled look on his face. And the tube itself here, this is interesting to me. I wish, oh my God, how I wish I'd bought five or 10 of these things when they were for sale at Walmart. They were part of a children's, like a kind of a mystery box. This thing had a bag in it that had all kinds of fun little toys in it that if you were 6, 7, 8 years old, they probably seemed really cool. I think I threw away all of them or gave them to my kids. This is the only one that I kept. This little guy here, he was in this tube, kind of an astronaut guy in a spacesuit with a sword, kind of a magical looking sword. It almost looks like a 2-inch high Fortnite figure. I always thought he was kind of cool, so I have him in my display of my littlest guys that I have just kind of on a lark. While I'm at it, I'll show you another little guy that he goes with. This guy is in the same display. I know he has a name, but I can't remember what it is. Let's see, there we go. He came with the NECA Defenders of the Earth Phantom. just a weird looking little guy, kind of a 70s looking look to him. There we go, some light and some focus here, that might help. Weird looking little guy with a crystal in his hand. Don't really know his story, something to do with the Phantom. I don't really care about that little guy, but he's little, and I do have a little setup of all my kind of little. If you collect enough action figures from enough lines, sooner or later you end up with all kinds of weird little accessories that just kind of are fun to have around and enhance your toy space, I guess. Like, for example, I'll give you one more. Oops, if I don't drop them all and lose them. Let's see here. For some reason, I guess one of these actually came with the Marvel Legends Apocalypse. I think it was this one. Yeah, this one on the right here. I have 3 skulls that ended up in my collection. So we have this white one, which came from my friend Jacob. He sent that along when we did a trade one time. And this one, I believe, actually came, I think, with the Phantom. This one right here, he actually has a peg hole underneath, so you can actually peg them on to some action figure bodies. And then this other one actually came with Apocalypse, not this Apocalypse, but rather the Apocalypse that it was a Marvel Legends Apocalypse. I think it was like a deluxe edition Apocalypse. Might have been the Age of Apocalypse, now that I think about it. And I'm trying to think of more reasons to say Apocalypse, but I can't think of any. But anyway, yeah, you end up with some little fun little things that I just kind of keep around in case I need them. I got the animated Marvel Legends What If Ant-Man head in a jar. He's just sitting around here. Let me put these skulls back, and then we'll get back to the alleged purpose of this video. For some reason, I have these skulls precariously placed on a very narrow shelf in a room that gets a lot of vibration from nearby train traffic, and yet they never seem to fall. So that's kind of a good thing. So anyway, what the setup here is basically, the caption that I put on this on my photo feed is, I'm going to have to look it up. I forget exactly what I put. So Apocalypse is reflecting on Logan, who is in this isolation tube, presumably healing or being prepared for some sort of mission. And Apocalypse is saying, "Oh, Logan, your time has nearly come again." That's my Apocalypse voice. I can't even really remember what Apocalypse sounds like. I watched a lot of the X-Men animated series when it was on. But my kids were little, and I was, I watched it partially to spend time with them, partially because I was interested in seeing how they translated all that stuff into animated form. But I don't remember a lot about it anymore. It doesn't hold up very well as entertainment from what I've seen when I've gone back and looked at it. Anyway, so I have 3 lamps in my photo area. And this is what it looks like with all 3 lamps turned on. And I thought when I took the picture that it appeared a little too brightly lit, so I shut this far left one off. Let's see. And then the far right one. And that gives us some depth of shadow, but maybe the one in the middle should be off and the one on the right should be on. Yeah, that gets rid of that reflection that was going down Logan's face there. I didn't really want Logan to be super clear in this because, for one thing, he's supposed to be in suspended animation or a coma or something for the purposes of this photo. And his eyes are actually open, but I bent his head down, and he's kind of at an angle away from the viewer. And the idea, of course, is that this tube, which I think cost me like $3 or $4 at Walmart, and again, originally had a whole bunch of kids' toys inside of it. The idea is that the tube is filled with some kind of fluid or medication or whatever that is helping to prepare him for whatever Apocalypse has set him up for. And these are from the Bone Breaker Build-A-Figure. Those are the fuel barrels that go on the back of his tank. This was from Walmart. It was like a mystery box of toys for young kids. Old Man Logan head with the Weapon X body that has had the tubes and wires and machinery removed. And I didn't do that before. I had a second or not Old Man Logan, Weapon X. I do still have a complete and undamaged Weapon X in my display because that design by Barry Windsor Smith is probably one of my favorite Wolverine designs of all time, and Hasbro knocked it out of the park producing that figure. I still see it for like $20, $25 in toy stores, and it amazes me, absolutely amazes me that that figure doesn't go for 75 or 100 because it's just such a great, classic, iconic look, and Hasbro actually did a good job on it. So then, oh, looking at Logan, we have the Marvel Select Apocalypse, which I just bought one day a couple of years ago because I was feeling spendy and it looked like a much better version of Apocalypse than Marvel Legends has ever given us. I think, at least in terms of shelf presence, it's better looking. It's probably not better articulated. He just kind of stands there and looks cool, but you can't tell me that he doesn't look cool, especially when he's kind of bathed in shadow like that. And then behind Apocalypse here, we have some kind of sinister looking device, which, if you're a Star Wars fan, you probably know what it's called and what it's from. I don't even remember what character I got it with. I think I bought it on clearance just to get that device. I thought it was cool looking. And sort of like the barrels, this sort of dangerous, it almost looks like something that would tear you to shreds for some sort of bizarre surgical procedure. Uh, it just really, really, I thought it was cool looking, and I think it goes well, like the barrels, as something just sort of in the background that looks sinister and threatening and industrial and dangerous. And you certainly want stuff like that around when you're featuring Apocalypse in one of your photos. So that basically is it. That is what I did to put the photo together. I think that if it's cool looking to you, I actually think it's cool looking, and I may actually make this a permanent display in my toy room because it just looks really good to me. Um, it's just easy to put together with parts you may have laying around. The tube, there are things like this. I think that third party sellers on Etsy and eBay and other websites, I think, sell just sort of containment tubes or suspended animation tubes. And of course, all of those look much better than this. Part of the appeal of the shadows for this is the fact that it kind of hides the cheapness. This is about the super cheapest piece of plastic you're going to find in this toy room. But under the right lighting conditions and with the right setup, I think it looks pretty cool. And I'm pretty happy with how this photo shoot and how the photo turned out. And that's a little behind the scenes look at my, sort of somewhere between beginner and intermediate toy photography philosophy. Hope you enjoyed this look at how I set this up. Really appreciate it if you would like, comment, subscribe on the video, share it with your friends and action figure aficionados if you're so inclined, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.